would have probably been a good
Hmm.
idea. But don't worry, Shadow Lagoth makes several reappearances throughout the series, so you'll get to love it some more or hate it, your
Hmm.
choice.
I can't wait for that because I think I will read the whole series, like already in the second book right now.
Honestly, it's worth it. There's like a thing in the middle called the slog. Some people refer to because like books like 8, 9, 10, or 7, 8, 9. Like there's debates about some people don't love all of them, but like most of the reason people didn't like them is because like when you're waiting for the books to get published over the like in real time, like he wasn't as bad as like George R. R. Martin was about it, where like it's been super long, but like it got a little out of hand. So people would like, and then they got really upset because like after book 9 came out, I believe it was after 9. I think it was after 10. But like they waited like extra long. It was like a year and a half for a book, and then he came out with like the prequel book, and they were like, "What the fuck, bro? We've been waiting to see what happened after this epic moment." Because the other issue is like at the end of book 9, something super epic happens, and then like book 10 is like 90% just other characters' perspectives of what they were doing when that happened. So everyone who was just like, I just want to see what happened to Rand after that epic thing, we're all just super pissed off because like, well, oh great, it's a whole book about Matt and Perrin doing stuff. Well, fuck you. It's like no, like those. So as long as you like Matt and Perrin, like you're gonna be fine. But like if you're one of the kind of people who's like, I just want to know what happens to Rand, and I just want to see those answers, then it's a bit of a slog. But like, I don't know. I didn't really notice it. I was like, I had a good time. But I do. I think Matt's the most fun character. His POV chapters, like they're all great. There's not one. Every one of those ones I would like re-listen to as like a standalone series of just things about Matt happening to Matt. So I don't really have a point. I can't remember why started this rant, but here I am.
Rant about Rand.
I could rant about Rand for hours. He's absolutely the most frustrating character, and I agree with Masta's take that he's like the least interesting of the characters, which is kind of crazy to think about in this to an extent, but because like he should be the most interesting. Like he's the one who can wield magic and is going to go crazy. And I actually do
Mm.
think as the books progress, they do a really good job. Robert Jordan does a really good job, like with the crazy. Like I think there's a good, and there's other instances of other things he does a really good job of like how characters will change. Like one character is going to end up getting like kidnapped and enslaved for a section of a book, and like the way that like PTSD and experience like shifts them as a character, like going forward in all of their interactions. Like I think he does a really good job. And like also like how war, because like Robert Jordan was a veteran, and like I don't remember the details of the story, but like he had actually like killed like a woman in his serving in like Vietnam or something,
Sheesh.
and it was like a horrible thing. He like not something like he wasn't like, haha, isn't that great, I'm a psychopath murderer. It like really fucked him up. It wasn't something that like he felt good about, and like I think that's really reflected well in like how every other character is like impacted by the horrible shit that they have to do over the
Sheesh.
course of this book. So
You know, knowing this background info changes the book for me a little bit because I looked at the book with a very childish eye. Like, I thought, okay, everything has kind of happy end and stuff like this, and it's very like easygoing. But knowing this now, I think that Robert Jordan didn't choose the easy way, but maybe it was important to him to have this characters having happy end, even if it's not really happy end, but like it's not too dark, and I really love this.
yeah, I think that I definitely don't like. I don't think Robert Jordan's a like everything's happily ever after kind of guy, but I definitely think he tries to have there to be mostly happy ending. Like I definitely think that like he's realistic and that there are definitely losses along the way. Like there are definitely going to be characters you come to like and love who don't make it, so to speak. But I think for the most
Mm.
part, he definitely
because
tries to like have there to be a,
because
a
I think it's
reason,
mm,
not
I think it's
senseless
really
necessarily.
sheesh.
My
I
bad.
think it's really uplift. Oh my god! I think it's really uplifting how the characters deal with trouble or with obstacles that they find. Like, and this is why I don't hate Rand, because when he was alone with Matt, he was always the one that kind of tried to see the bright side of life, you know. And I think this is not very easy to do in hard situations. And yeah, knowing that that the author was going through so much stuff in real life, he still has this in his heart to write it down. This is kind of wholesome to me. I hope this makes sense.
Yeah, no, I think it made perfect sense. I agree with you that yeah, I agree that like when someone has actually seen like truly gone through the darkest stuff and can still kind of incorporate the fun and whimsy into things, that is absolutely an admirable trait. Since it's very easy for, a person to let their own horrors and PTSD impact their ability to communicate anything of like, like creating a character like Matt and being able to have that fun while also having
Mm.
like, lived the worst parts of the like, of existence is
Yeah, and this
absolutely
is like,
like
and in
fantastic.
like Game of Thrones, if anything bad can happen there, like it will happen, you know. If a character can die, they will die. And in Wheel of Time, it's not like this. It's like it can be scary, it can be dark, but in the most times, in the first book at least, they kind of find a good way to handle everything. And this is like this. But we already talked about my favorite part of the book, like this journey when Rand and Matt were alone, and I would like to know what was your favorite part.
My favorite part of the first books or I mean I
Yes.
really love the like opening stuff, like the I don't know. Like I always just love really marinating and re-listening to like the sequence, like back at the farmhouse when like they're there, they go back that night and the Trollocs like break in and like I don't know. I really love everything about getting to know the town. I really enjoy. I don't know, but I guess it comes from the perspective of having like seen where the entire journey they go on. So like when I come back to like this first book, I'm just like, oh, it's just so like nice and it's small and like our biggest problem is like if the Thatcher is gonna be a prick. If there's something like say like when Moraine does the like like gets the attention of the angry mob and like tells the story of Manetherin. I love that sequence. I love that whole bit. I think that's so great. Getting to meet Loyal, the actual I actually do agree that I think some of the best stuff is when Matt and Rand are like alone and running and like all these other little characters you get to meet along their journey. Like I think that's the thing is that like Robert Jordan does such a good job with side characters and there's very few one-off characters. Like even many of the characters you've met in this book, like the dude who like picks them up in the wagon and like gives them a ride, like I know there's like more than one of those, but like that guy will like get to make a little comeback like appearance and like there's just so few like truly one-off characters, but like it gives the world such a feeling of depth and realness. Is like I just love all of those little moments.
I feel like Robert Jordan really loves every character that he has created, and it shows, and it feels like this level of detail for every side character, as you said. I think, and even the dark characters that are meant to be not liked, I think he describes them with the eyes of a father that is talking about his children. Maybe this
Yeah,
makes
I
sense.
agree with you.
And
he absolutely puts love and life into every one of them.
and to be honest, I couldn't enjoy the first part at all.
I could see. I mean, I get it. I can understand it because you're kind of like, cause like I get, like I feel like I enjoy it more on the reread because like you don't know what
Yeah,
you're there for
because
yet. You don't understand. You're like, what? Well, why am I
no,
getting to
but
know any of these characters? Like they
no,
don't
but
matter
because
to me.
everything, because when I read it first, it was like I already knew there would be 13 books of this, so there's no way that that it's just a happy story. And reading all the stuff about their home, and I was so sure, oh my god, we just learn about this now, so that we can understand what they will lose in the future. And this was such depressing. I don't know. Like they're talking about their hometown and how safe it is and how friendly everyone is. And I was so sure, oh my God, everyone here will die. The whole town will burn down. And I don't know, this was kind of for me a little bit, depressing to read, because I thought he only showed us this to take something away from us, you know? But I think the book was a little bit different in the end. But this is
Well,
what I expected in the beginning.
yeah, I mean, I can see where that anxiety is coming from. They do eventually have, like they're not every character gets to go back to the Two Rivers, but some of the characters will go back to the Two Rivers. That you're not done with the Two Rivers yet, and you're not done with it hurting you yet, because what you feared in some way does sort of happen, but also doesn't totally happen. But it's Perrin has such a great arc on a return trip to the Two Rivers in like 3 or 4 books from now. It's so good. It's so fantastic. It's actually, yeah.
But,
Yeah, I don't know.
but
But
even
I love the Two Rivers. I'm a fan.
even if even if they go back, they are not the same anymore, and their home is not the same anymore. And this
Well,
is so.
no, you're spot on, 100% correct. But like Robert Jordan does such a great job with it. Like when Perrin was gonna go back, and then like some of the like one of the little kids you met who like gets a coin from Moraine like at the same time that Matt and Rand got their coin from Moraine. Like he'll be there. Like he's like, wait a minute, is that you? And like, it's like, but like, and he's like, oh, Pear, I'm so jealous, I didn't get to go. And like, they just do such a good job of like kind of explaining, like, oh, like, are you really that jealous you didn't get to go on like a terrifying, miserable, like 2 year and a half of my life where like all these awful things happen. I don't know, they just do such a good job of that dynamic, because you're correct, like the. But at the same time, though, like the Two Rivers still gets to keep so much of what makes it like special and quaint and like charming and lovely, and like all. And then the whole time, as they're like, "Well, Perrin, what do you think we should do?" And Perrin's like, "What are you asking me for? Like I left here as an 18-year-old boy you didn't trust with much more than a hammer, and now you're asking me." So it's just so like I think Robert Jordan does such a fantastic job of like unpacking and exploring what you've just described, that like I don't know, I still just keeps the Rivers warm in my heart.
Yeah, because I think this is like so real. Like there were kids in the village, and then there is I hope the name is right, Fane, this
Yeah,
guy that is
Pat and
hunting
Fame.
friend. Yeah, and he is a funny guy that comes to the town each month or whatever, and it's a highlight seeing him. And he was kind of a part of their childhood. And then he's
Yeah,
becoming such a villain, and I think this is something so real when you grow up. That when you like on your way to school or something like this, you see people, you see how they're living and stuff like this. And when you grow older, you learn about these people, and sometimes it breaks something for you. Like I think this is a huge part of growing up. And Heat, yeah, I think the book really did well. I just noticed how well the book did with taking us, as I said in the beginning, I think it took us on a journey. And when I talk with you all about it, I kind of feel why it was a journey for me, because we grow up with the characters. And yeah, John did really well describing it.
yeah. No, I honestly like it's the ending. I just recently, like earlier this week, like re-listened to like the end of the last book, and like it's just so good. And like I mean, and admittedly, Robert Jordan wrote some of this parts of the last books before he died, but most of it was written by Brandon Sanderson. But like the world, they do such a fantastic job, like just
What? He
kind.
died? He
Yeah,
died?
Robert Jordan. Yeah, Robert Jordan is dead. He died after book 11. Yeah, after book 11. So Brandon Sanderson had to like go in and take but he did write parts of the last 3 books, and he had like extensive notes. And the other thing you should know is that his wife was the editor of every book. So like Robert Jordan's wife, like she edited the first books. Like that's how they met, was like working at another company, like author editor. So like even though Robert Jordan wasn't there to finish it himself, his wife, who was an integral part of the entire series, worked with Brandon Sanderson to help, guide it to completion. So, in many ways, we owe Mrs. Jordan a
But
heartfelt thank you. But yeah, no, Robert
but
Jordan he had a disease. I can't remember what it was, like I want to say it was either a respiratory or a heart disease problem that ended up taking him out. too soon.
So but he did finish the book series, right?
Well, the series was finished. The books they make it to 14, but Brandon Sanderson, who's another author that Mew likes, he had to actually finish the like writing part of the final 3 books. Which originally Robert Jordan had wanted to make one last book, but like Brandon Sanderson, like, listen, like if we release this as one book, it will be a 3,000-page book. So we're gonna do 3. So I just ended up doing 3 more books. But yeah, but the series does get finished, and Robert Jordan, he wrote like the last chapter. Like there's stuff that like his writing is in all of the last 3 books, but then Brandon Sanderson had to like piece it all together. So
I'm heartbroken.
yeah, no, yeah, imagine how the fans felt. Like it was
Mm.
well, that was actually part of the other reason the slog, like like where they complain about it, like why they're so stressed out, because like it was a well-known fact that Robert Jordan was ill towards the end, so they're like waiting, and they're like, man, you got to finish these series, bro. Like we're concerned about you, we love you, but bro, you got to finish the series. And like as they're waiting, and then they're like, a prequel book. What the fuck, man? Like, don't get me wrong, it's great, we love it, but it's not getting us closer to finishing the series. What are you doing? So, like, I think that's where some of like the stress came from like his fans, where they're just like this very weird, toxic relationship where they're like, we love you and your work, but you're dying and you are not taking this seriously, man. Like, you can't die on us until this is done. So fortunately, though, that it worked out for the most part. Though some people complain about Brandon's interpretation of certain characters. I actually think sometimes he's better, if nothing else.
The Mew is still not talking.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's got work to do. He's probably prepping for his week at work, making sure his weasel doesn't break out of its cage.
Oh shit! Speaking of the weasel, fuck.
Oh,
I don't know where she is. I'm gonna go look.
Last time it was behind the fridge. Just helping.
But yeah, no. I mean, anyway, now that he's gone, we can just start talking about the second book. So you're in the second book now.
Yeah, I feel bad talking about the second book, but since only you and I asked now in this call, yeah, I'm in the second book because I noticed when I read the last few pages of the first book, I was like, "Sheesh, I don't want it to end." And good thing there are 12 more books, so I ordered. I ordered the next. I don't know. Maybe I have separation
overnight
anxiety.
shipping?
Yeah, I overnight shipped it. And when the second book was here at my home, I was kind of comfy enough to read the end. So I really finished the first book and just got to the next one in like 1 hour. So, and I really loved it. It's such a long story because often it's when you're reading books, it's like you meet someone, not someone, you dive deep into the story, and when you finish the book, for me it is like I feel empty and kind of like I lost something. So it's very nice to have 12 more books before this happens.
Yeah, but let me tell you though, like when it happens, that feeling is like the feeling you described is so real when you get to the end of it. Like that, I have literally just started re-listening to book 1 like 2 times, where I'm just like, I'm done. I can't be done. I don't know what to do with myself. Let's just go back to the beginning. I'll move on with my life when I get to the end of it the second time. But I didn't. I did not yet. But yeah, and it's so fantastic because like the second book like picks up like almost right off. Like they're like there's the Feldera Keep. They're like at the same place.
They're like 1 month. One freaking month is in between the first and the second book, and the only thing that happens is that Rand gets thought lessons by Lan, and this is the only thing that happens in this 1 month. And I really like this. So
yeah,
and
it's
seeing
so fantastic.
Yeah, and seeing how little bit the characters have developed in this 1 month, like Rand getting all this new clothes by Moraine and stuff like this. And I really think what's You know, we have read the first book, this time traveler book. How was it called again?
Oh shoot, I keep forgetting the name of it too.
But you know what I mean, right?
Yeah.
So,
Dark Matter.
and this book, Dark Matter, and this book was so written from a man, and you could tell. I think we talked much about it when we talked about this book. And
Yeah.
with Robert Jordan, he really he has such a nice skill to describe situations and things, like from a female and a male and everything like in between point of view. And I really like this because this is something so nice to think about of him, that Moraine is giving Rand new clothes. Like this is, I think this adds so much to the story, and in some form, like character development and things like this. And Moraine starting to separate the boys because she always treated them kind of the same, so that no one of them, I think, would suppose that they are the dragon, you know. And then she starts to treat him different, and showing this with clothes. I think this was just really a nice to read.
Yeah, I agree. I do think Robert Jordan does a much better job writing women, which I assume probably helps that his wife was the editor, so like he probably got a lot of good, honest feedback from
I
a
love
strong woman.
this. I love this really because this book is so much about the Sedai and Seda. No,
Yeah,
how Sedai and Seda, right?
close enough. Yeah, I mean, I'm like, yeah.
Uh,
Well, we're talking
so,
about
so
fantasy words that we both read in different languages.
mm,
Like you're yeah,
uh,
Sidene and Sidar. Yeah.
yeah. So the Saidin and Seda, and I think this is so well presented in how the book is written overall. Like you get this really nice feeling of it's complete. Like every angle is shown when a situation is described. The whole book feels so dense, and I really love this because I have read so many books in my life that are just very on the top of things and not going very deep. And this book is just like you have the feeling like you are not in the story, but you are someone that is watching it unfold. And this is something I think I haven't had in the last few books that I have read. So I really love this. And to be honest, I think with the book club, as I said, I kind of lost the hobby of reading in the last few years. And to be honest, the Central was a big part of it because, you know, before I was in the Central, sometimes I would just in the evening lay in bed and read a book. What I'm now doing is I'm chilling on the couch and I'm at Genesis Plaza. So many book time got lost over the years. And now getting this back is kind of nice. And especially with Wheel of Time, because now I'm really, really hooked. And this is so nice. I love it. Like, can't wait to read the other 12 books and talk about it.
Heck yeah, I'm there. Whatever you're ready to want to talk about, what I'm in, and I definitely agree with you. I'm looking for. I can't wait till you guys because you just entered the next book we're reading now is gonna be this 3-parter. So I'm all for like introduce me to some series, like get me emotionally attached to some characters, like get me curious about how things are gonna go, and like give me
Mm.
like a nice 20-book series to read so that I don't have to put any thought into this and I can just consume it.
So I really would like to, I don't know, maybe every book club, the last 5 minutes, we can talk about Wheel of Time. This would be awesome. Because I don't want it to end, I want this book continues the time that we can like talk about it, but yeah, we need to come to the next book.
Yeah.
And Sinful was so nice to let me help him choose a book, and with help I mean he let me choose it. So if everyone is fine, I don't know. I saw Dana I saw Master Rains writing something in the Discord about the book, so I'm not sure. Did she suggested a book?
No,
Because
no, no. I don't think so. I thought. No, she says. I think she just replied to me saying she saw the book. I was like, this book. You're like, yeah, this one. And she said, adding it to my to be read list. And I was like, this is the next for the
Ah,
next month. So no, she's just on board. She was just she wasn't suggesting anything. She's down.
okay. So I think the next book is called Grandy's Button Box in
Bucks.
English. And it's a really nice book from Stephen King and Richard Salman. And Stephen King was like, he had the idea, but the other guy, that name is hard to pronounce for me, wrote the book. And it's kind of a little bit reminds me of Wheel of Time, but not because of the story or anything, but because of this monumental journey that it takes you. It starts with a very young girl and goes from being a very young girl to it's crazy. It's really crazy. And everyone that reads the first book, I would really high recommend to read the second and the third one because it's so trippy how it ends. Like this, no one would expect how this book ends. Really, not. And
I'm down.
it's really crazy, Jared. Like I would love to spoiler, but I'm not going to spoiler. But it's just crazy how the book ends and how it predicts much of the future
Oh goodness.
that we're now living in. It's crazy. It's really really crazy. So can't wait to read this with you all.
Well, I definitely will start checking it out and listening to it later this week for sure, because I've never actually read or in any way consumed any Stephen King books, so I should definitely change
You
that
have
anyway.
not?
I've never have.
Really?
No, it's one of those things
Sheesh.
like I'm kind of like weirdly stubborn about. Like I had a friend who was like a huge Stephen King fan, and
Oh my
I just made
god.
it so far into life without ever reading one, where I was like, you know what? I'm just never gonna do it because I'm a stubborn pain in the ass. So there's no good reason for it. I have no like. It's literally,
Oh
I
my
just.
god.
It's like I don't know. It's just me bragging about being ignorant is what it became essentially, and I was just like, I just won't do it. It's like, oh, like why not?
I
Because
get
everyone
to be
loves it
honest,
and says they're great. I guess.
Jared, I get it. I really get it because I'm like this with series, like TV series. I really don't like to watch anything that has a hype about it because I'm like, yeah, sheesh, have your hype for you. Uh, I'm different. I don't know. Maybe I'm just.
Yeah. I know. It's both that, and then also that like the
It's dumb.
expectations are so high. Like it's like
Yeah.
so like it's like there's no way every one of his books there can't be as good as the hype
Mm,
around Stephen King books.
yeah.
So it's just like
So,
inevitably I'm gonna be disappointed.
but I would say that Grandy's Button Box is a perfect book to start with Stephen King because
He didn't
Stephen
write
King
it.
books because he didn't write it. Yes, and there is also a book from Stephen King's son that's called Christmas Land, and I hope in the next few years I hope this book club continues. This is the fucking best book I ever read in my life. It's called Christmas Land, and geez, yeah, it sounds stupid, but Jared, you should
The
read it.
best fucking book you ever read in your life.
There are 3 books that I would put everything down for them. Grandy's Button Box is one of them. Christmas Land is the other one, and I'm not going to talk about different books now. But so why is Grandy's Button Box perfect to start with Stephen King? Because in Stephen King's book there is this city, Castle Rock, and everything kind of evolves around it. Maybe Cujo, this really big ass demonic
The
dog.
Junkyard Dog.
Yes, and all the books have references to the other books. This is like sheesh. It's really crazy how connected the books are, even if the story doesn't overlap. But in the one book, you have a character that's maybe only a side character to only see them in a cafe, sitting, drinking a coffee. And in the next book, they are like the main characters. It's really nice. And Granny's Button Box, it kind of touches all these places, like Castle Rock. It touches it a little bit, and some other stories I touched a little bit, but you don't need to have to read anything before it to start with it. So to have any informations that you may need, sheesh. English is hard. So
I mean, Your English is still way better than my German, so.
Yeah, but I have so many thoughts that I can't translate, and this is like so stupid annoying, and it only gets better by talking. And honestly, this helps me so much to get better. But right now, I'm kind of a little bit annoyed that I can't express myself correct. But it is how it is.
I can imagine that would be a very frustrating feeling. The fact that like I know that I could articulate exactly what I want to say. If your dumbass could speak German, Jared, so I get it. I appreciate you. Coming down to my level.
German is like a really nice language to talk about books and stuff like this because we have so many words that for different things, and in English many things are called the same, and this makes it kind of hard for me to get a feeling which word I should use, but
yeah, we lack there's very little nuance in the English language, which I feel like is, I mean, we do have some good words. It's just that like our population is so dumb that they don't use them enough for like anyone to actually ever do. They don't make it out like.
But to be honest,
No, you go ahead.
Oh, sorry. So now, what did you say?
I was just saying, like we've got great words like belligerent, pugnacious. We got some really good words to describe being an argumentative. Pugnacious, it's like belligerent. It's like the same thing. It's just a little different. It's like just being, very like argumentative and like digging in your heels. So like we have some really good words. It's just that like we're so dumb we don't know how to we don't use them in sentences. We're just like you mad, bruh.
But I'm dumb too. I should have read this book in English so that it's easier for me to talk about it. But I'm not at this point right now. To be honest, I think the book club really helps me to get. It's hard to describe what you think in a different language. Like it's easy for me. Like community building, the space on Saturdays was such a nice beginning for me because I could have think about what I would like to say. And Canessa and Sinful gave me like the safe space where I could just like talk about the projects that MHD and I have and stuff like this. And here it's just freestyle, and this is so sometimes scary. I'm happy that you all seem to understand me.
Yeah, I mean, you sound like you're making sense. Like it's possible that it turns out you're trying to say totally different things, but like I can't tell. But I feel like I understand what you're trying to say most of the time.
I hope so.
I mean, I promise you, it's way better than if we're trying to speak in Spanish, which like I can't speak like a poquito amount of Spanish. But if we were trying like hearing, I always feel I feel awkwardly bad when people are like, "Oh, I'm so sorry that you have to hear me in English." And I'm just like, "What are you apologizing for?" If it was up to me, if I had to go to you in German, we'd just be sitting there silently, shrugging, going like, "Oh, okay." You thumbs up, you like? I'm like, yeah, thumbs up, thank you. So yeah, but other reasons you should be sad Robert Jordan died though is his original plan when he was going to finish the Wheel of Time, he was going to make a second series that follows what happened to like Matt and Perrin, what they ended up going to do after the first 14 books. So like, and I'm just like, it's such a bummer because you're like that would because the. By no means, the book doesn't end in a like what's the word? It doesn't. It's not like a cliffhanger. There's not like it's not wildly open ended. Like it's pretty satisfying conclusion. But there's just enough threads where you're just like, oh, like because like as any series when it ends, you're always kind of like there's something for you to imagine. But like there's enough there where you're like, oh my god, I would have loved to have known what Robert Jordan was gonna do, like with these guys and where they were gonna go. So like it's definitely still sucks.
I have a question. So you have read all the books, the whole series, right? Yes, twice. So, yeet. Okay, so are the problems that we are facing right now in the first book and in the beginning of the second book, are these the problems that are the problems in all the books, or is it like that this situation that we're having right now, will it get dissolved in like book number 3 and then there will be a whole nother story, or is this
Yeah,
Uh,
no, I think, no, yes and no. Because I know that you
okay.
got into the, because they've already explained, like, the last battle is coming. Like, I know that that's been explained by when,
Yeah,
like,
and is it really the last battle, or will we have like 6 other last battles?
No, the last battle will not happen until book 14, or the
Sheesh, don't
last
tell it,
book.
don't tell it. Oh my god, Jared, please.
No, sorry. Well, like, I mean, it's not that.
Oh my
Sorry,
god. And now you expect me to read like 30 other books before the last battle even happens. Oh my god.
well, it's called the last battle.
Oh,
Why did you think it was gonna
sheesh.
happen? Did you think it was?
Yeah. Oh
Last
my
battle
god,
doesn't
Jared.
happen in book 7.
Oh my
No,
god. Oh,
I
sheesh. Hmm?
promise you that that,
Ah.
that that will only become mildly annoying between the first, or like, book 7 and 8. And book 7 and 8, you're gonna be like, God, can we just yada yada a little? But like, even those books are fantastic. But like, no, like, I promise that will not ruin, like, because you got to get there. Like, and it's the journey is it's the fun along the way. Like, it's definitely worth. It's worth the ride to get there. But no, the actual last battle is quite a ways off. So there's a lot of, like, and there's gonna be little obstacles, like, that'll pop up along the way where you're gonna be like, but they all feel very organic. They never, like, very rarely. I mean, I can see maybe someone's gonna argue, like, one of Perrin's narrative arcs, you kind of, at one point, you're kind of like, Jesus, Perrin again. But like, for the most part, like, everything feels very organic. You're like very invested. You're like, yeah, like, I want to see how these characters get through this to the end of that. So there's not going to be like oh, we finished this story arc, and now here's a whole new set. Because like, in book 1, they already introduced like most all of the main players, like the Shan Chan. I don't know if that's how you say it, C Chan. The like um all the characters and like major players, for the most part, are introduced in the first book, even though there are some fantastic like characters that come along, like all the like nation states and major players that are going to lead up to the final battle, the last battle, so to speak, and all that. Is like, they've been introduced. It's just kind of about the like little things that happen along the way. Like, if I tried to like tell you like Wayne's storyline, you'd be like, that's ridiculous. How is what? She's gonna go from fucking level 1 to like, a level 20 fucking godlike wizard? Which, that's a little exaggeration, but like, she is gonna become very epic, as they all will become epic, obviously. So it's just like, it's worth it. Like, no, like, there's gonna be, yes, of course there will be other elements, like, like, there's gonna be a whole, you know, you haven't even met the Aiel yet. I think they come up in this book. Like, you're gonna meet more sweet characters and like more things, and there's be more places to go. But it all feels very organic. I don't know. I don't know. I got a little winded there. I got nervous because you started yelling at me for spoilers, and I was like, "Oh God! Oh no! What have I done?" And then I stopped breathing. It was just talking.
Did we lose Toxic? Oh no.
No, you didn't lose me. Everything's fine.
He was probably just screaming in the background. Shut up with your spoilers, Jared.
She was absorbing it all. And as she's like yeeting money into Amazon to get the other 12 books.
Definitely
Maybe
should. You
this.
should definitely do it.
Maybe this, or maybe I tried to light up my 420 trade and my fire wasn't working.
Yes.
Oh no.
Which reminds me, I need a 420 break.
It's nice. It's nice to 420 and talk about books. 10 from 10 would recommend. And to be honest, the book club is the only time that I feel comfortable with 420 and being on a stream that isn't my own. Like, very chill. I love it.
Oh my god, I forgot that the weasel was still out.
That's
Sheesh,
why
how
you
often-
left. That's when you
How-
walked away for that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, I found her. She was she had trapped herself in the drawer.
Oh
Like, how many times do you lose your reason?
Many
A day.
times, but
Oh my god.
I just looked over and I saw her little tail moving somewhere, so she's fine.
Yeah, I think it's thanks to you. My whole TikTok, so your page is full of weasels, and I'm like, asking myself every day, would my cat be friends with a weasel or not?
I
I,
think
I
yes.
I can say confidently my cat would not be friends with the weasel because my cat isn't friends with other cats, dogs, other people. I'm the only thing my cat likes, which is thankfully, thank goodness for me and her.
Well, you
But she
feed.
would try to eat that weasel.
Well, you feed her.
Yeah,
But
not as fast and as often as she'd like, but I do I do that.
Like my cat is a little bit special. It had a stroke a few years
Oh
back.
no,
Yeah, this
your
was
poor
so.
kitty cat.
Jared, when you posted on X about being bringing your cat to the cat doctor, I was like, oh my god, poor Jared, because I was so many times at the cat doctor. I
yeah.
hate it. I'm happy he's doing well. So
Oh,
Oh.
I'm so sorry for your poor kitty. I'm glad he's okay.
no
But yeah, I
problem.
mean,
He is okay, but he's not normal. You know,
no,
like
that makes
he
sense. Yeah.
he likes to go in circles, and he's kind of blind on one side and has problems with the right side of his body, but he's doing
Yeah.
really, really, really well. Like he totally adapted to it, and he's the same cat as before. But
Yeah. that's-
he can't have other cat friends because he would get dominated by them. And he had a partner cat, and this one died. So he's now alone with me, and I hope I'm enough for him. But yeah, maybe a
He's gonna.
weasel would fill his heart. I don't know.
Yeah.
I
Well,
Sounds like the weasel will have an easy enough time getting away from him. So like he's like, I just
He
gotta run to
would
the
have, yeah.
left and I'll live. So that part'll work out.
Yeah, this would be not a problem.
I
And then maybe if you got him like a little kitten.
my
um, I think a kitten would be too much for him to handle because he cannot die Rangordnung, like he couldn't show that he's a boss, because he can't. And since he's the older one,
Yeah.
yeah,
I
sorry, the book club shouldn't be so depressing. I'm sorry.
No.
So
It's okay.
the the cat distribution system blessed my family with a cat named Misu that one day just started following my sister around. And so we've had her for a long time now. I would say maybe like 8 to 10 years now. And so like there was a time like in the last year that like our property just started having a lot of bunnies everywhere. Like just bunnies everywhere. And so and we let Misu out like every day, and gradually like eventually we started noticing that there were bunnies missing. And
Oh no.
yeah, and so then my mom had made friends with this one bunny that would every night greet her at like in the driveway as she pulled up.
Oh, this
And
story does not have a happy ending. Oh
no,
no.
Oh,
what?
please.
So like last month or couple months ago, we let Misu out one morning, and then she doesn't come back till like nighttime, and my mom gets home from work and she finds the rabbit's head right in the driveway spot where
Oh.
yeah, so Misu murdered the rabbit. So with that said, I don't think I should let Misu near Maki.
Yeah,
Sheesh.
no, I would say that
Sheesh.
they're outside of the circle of trust. They're
But
outside of the circle of trust.
but Coco was good with ferrets, right? So
Coco the cat. Oh my god, the names are so on point. Simple. Do you give your pets the names, or is this a mastermind in your family? Because all the names are so on point.
yes, it's a family. We just
Sheesh.
Misu is kind of a funny name. Like it's kind of like a joke, haha name, like in Spanish, but like it kind of matches and everything else because
Oh
like
shit! I
because
thought of miso soup.
no,
Like,
well in like Hispanics, like when a random Hispanic, doesn't matter what part of Hispanica they are, they always greet the random cat with Misu 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 or Mishu Mishu Mishu, you know.
She,
So that like that we
like,
named her of that.
yeah,
Misu.
it's like in German, this would be like pussy, pussy, pussy.
Pussy pussy. Oh, I like that.
Mm.
And then so then we filled out the name a little bit and we'll call her Misulu.
Ah, sheesh, I thought because Maki, the sushi, I thought, and then miso, the miso soup. This made totally sense to me, and now I feel like, sheesh,
Your reality has been
miso.
broken.
Yeah, totally.
Maki, you scratched the fuck out of me just now, bro.
Ah, sweet.
Look,
Miso, miso.
look, I'm bleeding, Maki. But what do you guys think? Is this a good time to cut the stream?
Yes.
Yeah, for sure.
For sure. All right. So next book will be Gwen's Button Box. I believe that's
Yeah, Gwendy's
Wendy's
button box.
Button Box. And what will we be meeting at the end of this month or the beginning of
I think
next?
we could go back to the old, so to the last of the month,
Yeah,
because
what's
the
the
book is
last
really,
Sunday of the month? This is
yeah.
it like
Yeah.
I think this is also a nice time.
Oh yeah,
Like
that's
the
the
month is
30th
ending.
is the last Sunday. So yeah, it's like 1, 2, 3, 4 whole weeks. Yeah, that's I think a good time, the last Sunday of March.
Mhm.
All right. Well,
Because
we'll run it
the
by
book,
Dana.
Oh, daylight
and
savings is next week.
shit,
Oh,
this
man.
is so bad
Do they
for me
have that in the
because,
rest of the world?
yeah, and
I
this
thought this
means
was
that
something dumb the Americans made up.
no, and it's like for me, BTN will start at 2 a.m.
Oh,
Ah,
no.
sheesh. Yeah, this is always hard. Summer is hard in the metaverse. I
Oh.
think, and this is a sad thing. I think I can't make it to Make's party anymore because now it's starting at
Like
4
4
a.m.
a.m.
and this,
Yeah.
yeah, and then 5 a.m. This is I can't do it. Shit.
Gonna have
Well,
to
you
like go to sleep and then wake up.
Ah,
yeah, you just have
before.
to rework your schedule. So instead of staying up crazy late, just start getting up at 4 in the morning.
Okay,
Boom.
so I tried this. And to be honest, this makes me so depressing. I have no problem staying up all night and don't sleep at all. If I have like an appointment at 8 p.m., 8 a.m., no problem. I will just stay awake. This is really, and doing a little nap in the midday. My whole work and life schedule is, I worked hard to be able to contain this life schedule, because waking up in the morning, this is
I
makes me
hate it.
just depressed.
It is.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
That's like the main part of my depression, waking up in the morning.
Yeah,
yeah.
it's much easier to suggest to someone to getting up at 4 a.m. than it is to get up at 4 a.m. I agree with you.
Mm,
I could never follow through on the advice I just gave you. It'd just be fucking impossible.
for me, the best thing is that I can work from home most of the time and just make everything my own schedule. Only a few days a week. I mean, this is why Decentraland can see me so often.
Yeah,
Because
I've
I
recently
can,
learned about a new place I'm going to apply to where I could work from home like 5 days a week or 4 of the days of the week, and that I wouldn't
I
have to
think
work every day. I'm going to apply to this
I,
job.
I think this is a dream, like don't need to follow someone else's rules, but live by your own. I think
Yeah,
this
well, the
is
guy who was the job that I just learned about, it's for this company called like Efficiency Vermont. Basically, you just find people who like are already spending money, and you're like, listen, I can get you thousands of dollars in like grant money for your electrical setup. So literally, your job is just being a salesperson who is selling free money. And then the guy was telling me, he was like, yeah, he basically described his day where he was like, yeah, like they only have to work 7.5 hours a day. Like it's an 8 hour thing, but they actually like their lunchtime counts. And then on top of that,
mm.
he was like, yeah, and like basically he didn't outright say he's only working 3 hours a day, but he basically said he's like only really grind like of his 8 hour day, 3 of it is real work. And I'm just like,
Mm.
that's like the exact opposite of my current hell at the post office. I'm like,
Mm.
I would absolutely be cool not making any of this overtime money if I only had to work, 4 of the 8 hours, and the rest of the time I could be like, half paying attention to like, my
Mm.
Decentraland video editing. That sounds marvelous. Please. And my
But
cat would be so much happier if I worked from home. Most of her life, she had a stay-at-home parent, so
I,
she's not enjoyed this.
I must say I was working in telemarketing when I started with my career, I would say, and this I couldn't handle it. I was really good in the beginning, like I was very motivated and everything, but then calling people and for me I needed to sell them something. This was so sheesh. This was a really hard time in my life for me. I
Oh yeah,
enjoyed
I
it more
hate
to be.
sales. I'm
Mm,
with you on
I
that.
enjoyed I enjoyed it more to be a waitress. I mean, it was way more um, for my body. It was harder to like stand so many times and working like 12 or 13 hour shifts, but I enjoyed it way more than telemarketing.
Oh yeah, I was a telemarketer for 3 days, 2 days, 3 days. Um, the place I was a telemarketer for, it was selling construction work, but their whole thing was is you would call someone and then you would just lie to them. You'd be like, "Hey, Dave, I was there last week." That was like,
Mm,
which is crazy. It's crazy to me that that's what they wanted to do. But then, so like on the second or third day, like second phone call I make, I go, "Hey, is John there?" And this old lady just goes, "John's been dead for 3 years. You people call
Yeesh.
every day."
Yeah.
And
Oh my god.
I was like, "Ma'am, I'm gonna hit the Spanish speaking button. That's the button. The only button they've promised me no one will ever call you again is if I hit this button that says you speak Spanish. I am so sorry." Now
Oh my god.
and then my great fear is that now this lady gets called by someone speaking Spanish every day
Oh
asking
my
for
god.
John.
No.
Was my huge fear. But like I
Hola,
got up
Juan.
as soon as I hung up. As soon as I hung up with her, I got up. I walked to the front of the room. The manager of the space had obviously seen that look before. I was like, "Let's talk about this outside in the hallway." And I was just like, "Listen, man, I can't." And he's like, "It's all good. I get it. Have a good one." And I just left, and I never went back because that was
Understandable.
the worst job I
Understandable.
ever had in my life. Like,
Sheesh.
and the other thing is nice with the efficiency Vermont thing or the like electricity power thing is that it sounds like it's mostly through emails. Like it's very little phone calling, which is great. I
Mm.
don't want to talk to you. Even just calling, because like calling to give someone free money, they're gonna just think you're scammers. Because like free money, get out of here, you fucking asshole. I'm like, no, I swear I can. But like emails that I got a chat GBT write up a bunch of emails, no fucking problem. Let's do it. So
I
so
just
anyway,
think about. I just
You know,
want to say I'm thinking about John's woman now that gets reminded of her dead husband every day by
yeah, it
some
was so sad.
telemarketers.
Yeah, it was the
But
saddest, most like I was just like this. I can't live like this. Like this is
mm,
the worst system of sales I've ever heard of in my life. This poor old lady, and now maybe she was a liar. Maybe she was like a brilliant actress because I was like in the Glendale, Burbank, LA area. So technically, she could have
mm.
just been a world class actress. But I don't think so. She sounded real upset and real sad. And hopefully, she doesn't get called by the by the Spanish wing of the department.
Oh
uh,
my god.
all right. Well, I'm gonna close stream here.
Yes.
And thank you to everyone that joined us and anyone that watched on any streaming platforms. And yeah, it's been a great book club.